You've been to Belize, I know, but have you ever been to, you haven't been to Guatemala, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So, obviously Belize has a lot of tourism activity out here on the coast, right? But you went to San Ignacio, which is, there are some tourist sites in the area. Zunantunich, for example. The Stone Lady. Did you check out those ruins?
We did go to some ruins. I'm trying to, the name is escaping me right now.
There are a
Yeah.
lot in this area. And obviously Tikal, the big one in Guatemala. But, so, Guatemala is a tourist destination. Antigua is a colonial town, very beautiful. Lake Atitlan, also very beautiful. But you find that international NGOs tend to concentrate in these areas. So if you're familiar with a nonprofit that works in Guatemala, odds are, even if they don't operate there, their headquarters will be in an area that's, more amenable to Westerns. And I understand that. I absolutely understand that. But our mission is to improve things in one department in Guatemala that is kind of up in the Western Highlands. It's the only area that we work in. It's the department that I served in as a Peace Corps volunteer. And it's not sexy. It's not on the tourist trail. It doesn't get a lot of traffic. It doesn't get, it's a backwater even within Guatemala. It's one of the smallest, poorest departments in the whole country. And so, they're landlocked. It's
that's definitely
mountainous.
where you need
It's
to
hard
be,
to get around.
not just have something
and
3 hours away
I'm not knocking any of the other. There are tons of organizations in Guatemala that do great work, and shout out to all of them. But you tend to see kind of these concentrations, and we hope to be a movement looking at more equitable ways to distribute all the aid that makes it to Guatemala, because it's a lot, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We like to think so. Geography plays a really interesting role in Guatemala's history, and I think even now, the areas in Guatemala that receive the most, traffic and the most of the benefit from tourism. But it's a fascinating place. They say that, roughly 1 in 10 Guatemalans is a little bit higher than that probably now, living and working illegally in the United States. And it's something like 15% or 18% of their GDP. They just released the figures for the last couple of years, and it's plays a huge role in the Guatemalan economy. Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not trying to, it's about economic necessity. And they're already looking at redefining whether these people would be, undocumented immigrants or refugees, especially in the case of undocumented children that are coming across the border. And that's where we're working. Those are the areas that we're working in. So a big part of our goal is to empower women. Our theoretical model is if we empower women, we put some money into the female head of households or mothers even, just mothers in general. Put a little bit of money into their pocket, give them some of the tools and skills they need to just bump up out of the poverty trap. Just lift themselves a little bit out of extreme poverty, and then we will track them over time to see if those families have been able to. That's the kind of our theoretical model, like empowering women, bumping people up out of that trap, and then tracking them over time to see what kind of an impact we've had. And hopefully, our mission is to contribute to the eradication of malnutrition, alleviation of poverty, and reduce preventable illnesses in this one department in Totonicapán, this sort of mountainous, isolated province.
Yeah, but one place can just, it's just a start, and that grows, and once you improve.
Yeah, and there's already all kinds of, they call it campesina, like a peasant farmers network, and that's, we try to hook up with that too. So we have partner organizations that already work on the ground. These are all Quiche, all Maya-run organizations, and they'll come out and do workshops for women. The knowledge is already there. You just have to provide a space, in this case, I really do believe a gender-safe space for women to come and learn these things, even if they're pushing back a little bit on gender norms. But so when I talk about gender mainstreaming, things like we just built a greenhouse for our pilot projects. That greenhouse has to be close enough to the home that it's kind of considered part of the woman's domain. If we put it, a mile away, it's just hard for her to leave the house every day. She's got to be taking care of the kids. She's got to be cooking the food. She's got to be cleaning. She's got to be tending to the garden in the area, maybe some traditional medicinal plants, small animal husbandry. She's got a lot of responsibilities. Going down to the river to fetch water, no running water, of course, in most of these homes. 8 out of 10 of the homes in the area that we work in don't have access to sanitation services, so no toilet of any kind, not even a pit latrine. So again, we're talking about people that are they're on the fringe of even global norms.
Have you heard of the organization Mas Frijoles? They came and they did a seminar. I can't remember for sure if it was in Guatemala or not, but they are trying to like, help malnutrition and like bring the importance of beans back into people's diets.
Yeah, they were starting to consume other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the Western diet push in. It sounds kind of cliche, but it's true in a lot of places, and this is true in Belize as well. Coca-Cola is cheaper than water.
Yeah.
It's cheaper for people to buy a 2-liter of Coke. Last generation in these areas, that just wasn't there. It wasn't part of the diet. So we're seeing things like diabetes go up. We're seeing more people get televisions, become more sedentary. It's changing the face of public health, but the areas that we work in are years behind still with those kinds of problems. And in some way, maybe that's a blessing. Coca-Cola hasn't, it's gotten there, but they just can't. It's still difficult to afford. So, yeah, it's malnutrition's by far the biggest public health problem in Guatemala. 80% malnutrition rates amongst children, indigenous children, and it's another indicator that's super bad in Totonicapán, in the areas that we work in. The departmental level government officials have to put together these. It's like kind of like a census, but with a lot more information. Every 5 or 10 years, they make a departmental development plan, and it talks about nationwide rates for different things, and then zooms in on different communities within the department and the department itself. And yeah, it's just another indicator where the area we work in is nationally, in a country that has the worst malnutrition rates in the Americas, we're down at the bottom of the rung too. So it's pretty extreme situations that we're working in.